Okay, let's do it. What's going on?
Same old, I would say, but not.
Yeah? You had a show last Saturday,
Yeah,
right?
you
How'd
had a
that go?
game last Saturday. No, last Monday.
Yeah, we just finished up the season this last weekend. But we'll get into that. But how was the show?
It was okay. It was okay.
Yeah.
For me, it was. I had a personal goal and was just to get back in the shape of performing, being on stage, dealing with the anxiety or the energy. I would say because I don't like to say anxiety because it's like this energy you learn to deal with. And yeah, I did that. I'm happy with my performance. It was not a lot of people, but it still had all the obstacle a usual show has. Preparing for it, preparing your mind for it, and then delivering the performance to the extent that you're happy with it.
So when you do the shows, who else is involved in the shows?
Um, just me.
Okay, so but do you have a DJ or?
I mean, a friend of mine or a friend of ours who was also a co-host. He was doing the DJ and lining up all the sets. It was like 10 artists or something like that.
Okay.
And so he had to make sure there everything's all set up. All the tracks are in order, the set list. But I had to prepare it myself, so I had to prepare all of my tracks, mix them and master them a little bit, so they kind of sound good on stage. So I was in unseen waters, or I don't know how you call it.
Yeah, that's fun though. You're figuring out as you
Yeah.
go. So how many
Yeah.
songs did you get to do?
I picked 8. It's
Okay, so you're probably how long were you on stage then?
just 20 minutes. I had a slot for 20 minutes. I was happy with that. I could have asked for more if I wanted to, but 20 was good because I could have done 40. But then I was just gonna extend some maybe unnecessary pieces or perform songs that were not ready, or I wasn't sure of to the extent that I want to perform maybe yet. So by picking 8, I had to limit myself and be like, okay, which 8 songs do you want to perform? None of those songs I have yet released online, so they weren't fully mastered or mixed yet. And then I had to make a version where I just had some backup vocals, and to the extent that I feel sure of my delivery or the sound. So it was some stuff I was playing it safe, some stuff I was a little bit experimenting. So for example, I was the first 2 tracks I was more unsure of, but that's why I put them in the beginning.
Okay.
So I pushed
By the
myself
end, no one
to.
remembers what the start was.
Yeah, that's another point. But if I start with something that's hard, like I have to be focused right away, so I have to be on point right away. So I couldn't fuck around. So
Yeah.
that was my plan, and then I would get to be more and more relaxed during the performance and focus
take me
more and
through
more
the-
on delivery. Yeah. So my first.
The feeling that you went from like start to like the end of the show, just a little
Okay, so
anxiety.
as I'll paint the picture.
And what genre of music would you say that you perform?
It's a mixture. It's like R&B, funk, soul, hip hop.
Yeah, you sent me some songs. It's like it had a little house to it, a house with a little like R&B.
That's electro song. That's different. That's not
That's
not
different than what you performed.
Yeah.
Is what you sent me. Okay, but anyways, for the show, what did you perform? Right, what were the feelings as you went through?
I had different agendas, as I was also making sure everything was working well on the security side. I was providing some security with 2 other friends who are also doing some martial arts, and it was just helping out a friend, and so I was focused on that, which I like because I don't like being just occupied with myself. It helps me actually to focus on something or be involved with something, and then having to manage to get my preparations or other things in line after that. So it's easy for me to be of service, and so I focused on that, and I just listened to some 2 or 3 tracks before the show began, like it was in the hour before, just to make sure I had certain parts I was unsure of to have nailed down. So I'm focusing on the things that are not running as smooth or well, or I know I need to watch out. So I did that, And when my show started, which was pretty much at the beginning of this whole night, so it
So you're
started.
setting the tone a little bit too. Yeah, yeah.
But the most unfortunate thing was they tried to set it up in a way that first slower or ballady kind of people, more instrumental with guitar or something, came on stage. It was like two of them, and then me, and then there was one more with instrumental and slow music, and it kind of didn't work that well. And other people were like, okay, we could have gone from Leo to like some other more energized people, but there was maybe a mix-up or something. But that's a good learning experience. And so yeah, I started off with getting in the zone, and then just when the track hits, I'm just focused. I'm focusing on my steps. I'm focused on the track, on things that are going on, just like flow. Trying to pick something to focus on. Never focus on the audience.
Yeah?
That's the one rule. Like you get a glimpse of something. Maybe there's an.
It throws you off
yeah,
a little bit, huh?
It can.
If
And
you,
I'm
like,
not. I don't
catch
want to
eye
take that risk.
contact, or
I don't know. Maybe there's this moment. Some stuff can help you. Some stuff can like hinder you. It's just a risk, Some people, you might see a face that's like, what's he doing? And it might get to you in that moment
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
not. If you're not strong, or if you have a moment, a weak moment, whatever. Or there can be this lady who's like, giving you the impression of you're making some good music.
Yeah.
So it might can help you, or it can get to your head and you're doing some dumb stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm trying to do.
So where do you look? Where do you look when you're performing?
I'm just scanning, and then I'm like, just
Moving?
always focused on my moves. Basically, I try to use the anxious, if you call it that, anxious energy, and transform it into like excitement. I just put it into movement. And since I'm already in sports and in movement, it's like I try to use that as a challenge. So, like there are moments where I'm performing and I'm freestyling and I'm thinking, man, I've used this step before. Maybe I can just tweak a little bit. So I'm having fun in my head.
Nice.
And that especially after after I got comfortable. So like I said, the first two tracks I had to get into the groove, see that I don't rap too fast or too slow, because once you're nervous, you might get to talk too fast. You have to slow yourself down. Same problem sometimes with interviews.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's why I also picked certain instrumentals that had more ad-libs in the beginning, so like more help, because it forced me to be on point. Otherwise, it doesn't sound as well. Like if you use an instrumental with no ad-libs, no background sound of your own voice, then you would have to be on point
You really
all the
have
time,
to
because
be-
if you lose yourself in getting too fast or too slow, it's not going to hit the beat right. It's not going to sound as good. I had a few of those songs in there too, which I was really sure of, or I'm about to release them. I've heard them the last 2 years, for example, and other songs I just created the last 2-3 months. And one song, for example, I created with a band colleague. That was my last song, and it's like original piano sample from him. He played out the whole 3 minutes of the song. There was no looping of it.
Oh, nice.
And I just put a beat under it. We used to play with a drummer and a bass player. And yeah, it has a unique sound to it, so it's hard for me to get the mixing and mastering right, but until I find the right people, or I get to that skill level, I'm just working with how it is and slowly improving.
Yeah, nice. So what, do you know when you're gonna perform again?
Nope.
Okay.
I haven't. No.
What were the feelings after the show?
Got it over with.
Okay.
It's like I like doing it, the concept of doing it, but after like the day that it's happening, everything is a lot of it's nervous. It takes energy,
Yeah.
It's nerve wracking, and you're happy that you did it and that it's over with, in a way too, because it's like nervous energy in the beginning too. It's like it's building up, and then it's a release. It's a release of energy in a way. So yeah, and then for me it's already focusing on the next thing. Like,
Do you feel like when you do it that is time relevant while you're doing it? In your mind. So for example, something that I came to realize this weekend when we were playing was like, oh, why do I really enjoy baseball so much? It's because when I'm playing, the start time's at 2. When I'm playing, I'm never worried about time. I don't even know. We could have been playing for 30 minutes or 3 hours. It's not even relevant. It's like on the field, time has no meaning. And as I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, why? I enjoy baseball so much for that reason. And I'm very much in a flow state anytime I'm on a field, whether it's practicing, whatever. It's just so natural to me. And then I get off the field. When I'm off the field is the only time where I feel the relevance of time, which you can feel rushed or you can feel anxious about things, or because time is becoming like a factor. So the more I came to that realization was like, oh, how can I do more things where time isn't relevant to me? The more things that you do where time is of the essence is the more, for me, the more like anxious I feel, the more out of tune I feel. Like even doing an interview like this, time doesn't really matter. We could just go for as long as we want. Doesn't matter. But there's certain things, social media is one of those things where I feel time, I feel the relevance of time, and I really don't enjoy that feeling.
It's unnatural in a way.
It's what?
In a way, it's unnatural.
A clock? The idea of a clock?
I mean, time is it's invented. So
yeah.
So we put that on ourselves. Or it has been put on ourselves.
Say more.
And so when we let time get to us, then I feel like it's pressuring us and
even
then
if
it's
you
and then
have
and then
time.
you experience it more as a lag or drag. And it's like, when is this moment over? You're not fully involved, or you want to get rid of this moment because it's unpleasant. But unpleasant, then you're already not, there's something else usually going on. For example, when I feel like there's more time happening or me experiencing it, is when I'm not enjoying it, mostly. Most of the time you enjoy stuff and then you lose the sense of time.
Absolutely.
So
yeah,
when you're
bliss.
like, you have to do something, you're looking at the clock, and like, how long am I have to do this for? Or how long? Or I have to. You're already having stuff in your mind. So one person says that stress is, your mind, or your anxiety is your mind being in the future, and depression is your mind being in the past, kind of in a way.
100%.
So the pressure of future events is this anxiety, which can also make you not enjoy time at the moment itself, which is funny. You're trying to be in the future, which creates tensions of you not being in the time right now.
Yeah, it's a loop for sure, which is one of the things I haven't gotten comfortable with as far as social media goes. And part of me is like,
one more example with time. When I was on stage, because that was in my mind before I was on stage, and usually I don't have, there's no idea of when is this over with.
You black out in the best way.
Yeah, I'm just focused on either out, this or that, maybe this, maybe that, maybe on my steps, or maybe on my voice, maybe on how this or that. But then it's the tracks in between. Like there was a big, it's kind of a lesson. So the DJ was like, "You're gonna say something," or giving me this look, and me to address people, and I usually only do my mumbling, saying something smooth and that's one of those songs, and next one's gonna be about this, so let's get it on. Really simple, and maybe just a few gimmicky words or something. It's not because I've let the music do the talking. That's what I always say. That's something like that, because I feel a little bit uncomfortable addressing people. But that was already for me my first small step into, attacking that fear or that uncomfortability. I don't really call it a big fear. It's more
uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah, and I feel like uncomfortable feelings is the foundation for growth.
Yeah, so you get familiar with the uncomfortable feelings, and then they become familiar, and then they're no longer uncomfortable.
Yes, and the moments in between. So in between those sets, they were like, that's when I experienced time. That came to mind when you were asking me about what my experience of time was during that. And when I was during the security gig later on, and I was kind of getting late, that's when I was experienced time.
What am I gonna do next? When is this over?
When is this over? Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And then usually I try to focus on something that's in the present again here, because I notice I'm not being fully present, and that's how I usually managed previous mundane jobs as well. Like if you just have to carry this over and over, I just watch too many kung fu or gong fu movies, I want to say, and just doing the same pattern all over again and trying to create some sort of mastery with it.
Oh, okay.
So the way you're gonna lift it up again, you're trying to lift it up from maybe your leg better up, or you try to lift it up, in a certain flow with the music.
To bring presence
you play
into
music.
the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way I'm gonna lift this coffee mug up, I'm
Yeah.
really gonna like focus on lifting.
I was always doing that when I had the experience of, oh, this is boring, or I don't like doing it or something. I was challenging myself more with something in the moment, and it usually created some
that.
sort of flow experience.
Uh-huh.
But my
Driving a car, you're gonna feel the real
I'm just
like
doing dumb shit.
weight of the car. Yeah.
and the bosses, for example, or coworkers, they sometimes abuse that. I feel like they're like, oh, he's too happy, or he's like, he's feeling too happy. He should do more work. Or something. I have a lot of impressions like that in Germany. It's like if you're a happy worker, other people try to fuck you over with, and they'd be like, oh, he can handle more something. He's still happy.
Yeah.
If you're not unhappy in Germany, they'll put you to work more. It's like,
here's more.
oh, I think your life's too good for you. They have a saying like that in German as
Really?
well. It's like, I think life's going too good for you. Something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Dir geht's ein bisschen zu gut. Ich glaube, dir geht's ein bisschen zu gut. Yeah. I think you're doing a little too well. Something
Wow.
like that. It's fucked up.
That's.
If you're too confident and being like, yeah, man, I'm the biggest. I'm like, I think you're feeling a little too well.
That's pretty sad that happy is outside of the norm, But that's, as we get back to time, so we think about time and then the idea of social media, right? Because intertwining those two things is the more that I interact with social media, the more you just see it as it's a 2D world. It's not, there's no depth to what you're seeing. I could see you on a screen, but there's no depth. Right now I see you, there's a tree behind you, there's depth to it. And so I struggle sometimes with, is it necessary? Like, I'm trying to create something, right? I'm trying to create really the idea that if anyone goes on my page, they get an idea of who I am, or some thoughts or whatever it may be. But the more I interact with it, the more I see it for me as just like unnecessary. Like I don't see this interview as unnecessary because I'll put it on Spotify. Anyone can listen. I just send it out in the abyss. But yeah, it's something I'm going back and forth with. I actually had the thought this morning. I was like, man, maybe I'll just delete it. And then I was like, okay, I'll wait for a sign. Like something will tell me if I should keep it or delete it, because it seems very irrelevant to me. It is one of the only things where I feel the relevance of time. Mm-hmm. So if it's bringing me that feeling, it can't be necessary, right?
Yeah. If it gives, that's right. So that's a nice way to look at it.
If it brings me the feeling of time being relevant, I don't really want it. And it's a choice, right? It's always a choice, and it's like if I need social media to make something of my own, to make my own business, whatever it is, well then I'm not skilled enough in my own right. Like I shouldn't need this ulterior platform my work should be so good that it just gets found. Mm-hmm. Right? Like I have a hard time with social media, and like it seems like it's so not necessary, but it's infiltrated people's minds to the idea that I need it. For some reason I need it.
Yeah.
We don't need it.
That's a cool observation, yeah.
Yeah, and the back and forth part is that sometimes it's brought me interactions with people that will reach out to me that like we share a common story, and it's like, oh man, this is a great, like, I'm glad social media connected us in this way. And other times I end up seeing things on there that if your brain is like a hard drive, the brain, not the mind, the brain is a hard drive, and I'm constantly storing what I'm seeing, why do I want to see those things? but it's like that's the trade-off of the app is if you want to interact with the app and post on it, you got to interact with the app and receive what it's going to give you too. I don't know if I really want
They
to.
kind of force you now to.
I don't know if I really want to sign up for that.
For example, Instagram will upload your story faster if you stay on Instagram. Like it uploads 98%, and then if you don't stay on Instagram, like
No, I know. Well, that's when because I only.
they know, and they do a lot of that stuff where they notice people's behavior and they wanna train them, and then they start just doing stuff differently the next day. It's like, okay, now we changed our policies. We're gonna see how people react when we do this lag or.
Oh yeah, it's just an experiment the whole time. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I kind of bought into the idea subconsciously now that you brought it up, in certain regards of business as well, where you need social media, and a lot of people portray that sort of idea, and it's what you just stated. I'm like, I don't really think so. I think of it as the same way as you. If you do a good job and you have all the right things in your mind and you work.
If we work
if you
together,
work from this right place, yeah.
If we work together and I do a great job with whatever you ask me to do, I would hope that you're going to tell someone else, and then it's just going to expand in that natural ripple effect.
Natural ripple effect.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, rather than social media feels like I'm just trying to take a boulder and just like launch it into a lake. It's like I'd rather just throw a pebble and watch it just expand slowly.
It's like this natural attraction versus like an enhanced, almost artificial attract. You know?
Yeah. I mean, 100%. And so
the best people I came close with, or that have been my clients actually, like those were all people
by word
who
of mouth.
I know personally, or who I met personally. And maybe the social media thing reminded them of me. Mm-hmm. Like, oh yeah, there's this dude or something that I connected with personally. You know?
Yeah.
It's because they appreciate me for my whatever energy, and I feel like this internet cannot give you the same impression or feeling. And
that's all it is impression.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I was on the phone with my mom last night, and she was like, yeah, one of your posts didn't seem on brand for what you've been posting. And that's when I started thinking of it, was like, oh, I don't want a brand. Like, I don't want a brand means that I'm trying to fit in a mold. Like I'm creating a mold. It's 2D. A brand is 2D. Me, I'm 3D. I have depth in and out. So it's like, it's ever changing, you know? I wouldn't say something to you and then you would think, oh, that's not on brand for him. The only place there's a brand is social media. And so when she said that, I was like, I really don't enjoy the app to begin with. And if my mom thinks that I have some type of brand in that way, well, that's not even like the most authentic version of myself then. You know? Because all I'm trying to do on social media is just say whatever I'm thinking. Like, I'm not really trying to work the system in any way, you know? And so I have an interesting back and forth with, the only one I'm on is Instagram too. And it's kind of like, I just don't really enjoy it, you know?
Oh, I certainly don't enjoy it. I only stayed on it because if you want to be a creator,
right,
you kind of have to do like the minimum amount of being on it, but I don't.
But there's the word have to. It's like,
I mean, it's just kind of, you kind of create this idea in your mind that, you know, out of obligation, something to know a little bit of what's going on. I mean, I try to control it in the way of that I look at like 5 stories or something and that's it. I'm not trying to scroll downwards or something, but it still gets you, and you still do it.
It gets you,
and
yeah.
That's what it's made for. And it's really what you just said. Really is, it's gonna create some ripples in my mind the next days. Because right now I'm thinking about my approach within social media, because a friend of mine is helping me out, and we're talking about it. You know, branding, not branding. You know, creating a certain image. Me talking, it's hard for me to brand myself, same as with you because maybe I don't want to talk about this topic today. Maybe today I feel bad. Maybe I want to talk about feeling bad and still doing a little bit of work today. But you kind of have to, yeah, you have
Social
to
media tries to put you. It makes you
in a
think that you
box.
need to be in a box.
And
Yeah.
you label the good thing is we label it for ourselves. It used to be Nike. It used to be we wanted to be part of somebody else's box, somebody else's branding, and that used to be the highest goal. You know, being sponsored by some, you know, having the name of somebody else on your chest. It's like having Nike on here, having those Jordan.
Yeah.
And now it's cool that we have the power of actually creating ideas or images. It's the it's a sword, and a sword always goes both ways. There are people that are, you know, helping positive self-image, positive lifestyles, and they're, but there's how they're gonna do it. You can still use good or bad tools. You can still use things that cause people to engage, but it might not be healthy. But you can still do it for a good reason or a bad reason. So it gets complicated. I feel this whole social media thing, and I don't know how long it's gonna be or last.
I know that's the other part. I
And-
was thinking that same thing. I was
and
like, I don't.
I
In
heard
20
this-
years, it might just be gone.
I heard this like 10 years ago. I was in all of those conspiracy scenarios, and I heard this one story. It stuck with me. Like that's why I'm still repeating it. Probably it was
Yeah.
funny. There was this person who's from the future, or they talked to them in the future.
This is a story.
It was a person they interviewed or something.
Okay.
Who was apparently or said he was in the future or something,
Okay.
and or his consciousness or some stuff like that. I don't believe in future or past, because if you would actually future past travel, it would already be a parallel reality. But that's different, a different story.
If you were to future or
because
past
because
travel
there's only one now, one reality.
right now,
Yeah, if you change it, it would be a different.
but it would be a different now.
Yeah, it would
I
just
see what
look the same.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
a different, infinite amount of possibilities and way and shapes that can happen. But so the story goes, he said there was some sort of Third World War or something, some clash. Yeah, that's likely in some way, shape, or form. And after that, they kind of, I don't know if they banned it or they just don't use it anymore. And it was media or something. There's no TV or something like that. The only way, shape, or form that there's like some screening or is for education or it's documentary kind of the past. So it's still kind of educated. And I could totally see that, because I feel like once we see how abusive screens can be, the power, if you only use information that is helpful for you, for example, if you just let those screens portray information that gets absorbed, that is healthy to the mind or to your development at a young age, you know, there's the argument that a screen at a young age is bad anyways. But if you would have to learn certain stuff, math or certain language or something, and you could make that faster with some screens, you know, the way that you're trying to manipulate people or try to implement an idea or propaganda right now, there's also this possibility to use it for good. And, you know, like Star Trek create like cabins of little kids, you know, learning way faster, but they would still need that nature side for them to be a whole human. But that's just my point of view. It's a little off. But yeah, screens and social media, and I think in the future we'll have a different place. It will be looked upon much more critical. Right now it's normal. It's like we've got introduced to TV in the 50s, 60s, and TV and screens and things being portrayed there and ideas.
Television.
Television.
You said
The
that to me
Hollywood.
the first day we went. Yeah. Television. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, one of the recent, you know, they mess us up with language. So the original man, you know, the original humans, for example, you know, how do they call Native American or Native people in Australia?
Aboriginals.
Yeah, abhor is like a Latin word or something. It means like drastically away from the original or something like that, or away from what's normal, or, you know, is horrific, you know, abhor. So a lot of very far away from the original. That's what aboriginal means, basically. It's like this negative word for the people there. It's like a lot of times language has been used against us in sneaky ways.
Yeah. You want to hear what happened this weekend with the games?
Yes.
So we played, let's see, you came to the first playoff weekend. And we went 1-1 that weekend. Then we won both games the next weekend, so we had won the semifinals. Yeah, we moved on to the finals. And then I was going to leave you that ticket last weekend, and someone took all the tickets, which we're all supposed to get 2. That's another story, so I couldn't leave you one.
He's one guy just
Regardless.
hey, nobody took them. I would take them all.
Yeah, someone took too many, so I couldn't leave you one. So we played that first weekend. It was first one to win 3 games, so 5 being the max. We went 1-1 the first weekend at home. Then we went up to Heidenheim. Do you know where Heidenheim is? It's like
North.
3 hours away. So we had to play 2 games there, which was this past weekend. Today's Tuesday, so we played this last weekend. We lost the first game kind of handedly. Like, what did we lose the first game? Maybe by 3 or 4 runs. It wasn't that close. So then they're up 2 games. We have 1 game. So we need to win the next 2. If they win 1, it's over. So Sunday we play. Loser go home for us. We end up we're down 5-2 in the top of the 8th inning. We come back, take the lead 6-5. No, we tie the game 5-5. Then we take the lead 6-5. So we're 3 outs. If we get 3 outs, we win, and we play the final game of the season for both sides here, which would have been on Friday or Saturday. Would have been crazy.
Yeah.
We get 2 outs in the 9th inning. We're up 1 run. So we're 1 out away from winning the game. We give up a home run. So tie game now, 9th inning.
Okay.
We go to extra innings. We take the lead again by 3 runs. So now we just need 3 outs, give up less than 3 runs, and we're gonna play a game 5. And we walked a bunch of guys and gave up 4 runs, and we lost. They won on a walk off. Walk off meaning like a guy got a hit and they scored the runs. Game over. Like it's over right then. So yeah, we lost. It was a back and forth game, but that's what I had the thought when I was playing it. Regardless, win or lose. I mean, in my mind, the scoreboard, the stats, all that's for like the Matrix. That's for like the fans to think who won or lost. I can't lose if I am in flow. How could I lose? Yeah. The scoreboard says that one team won, one team lost, but for me personally or for the team that I'm on, like, we didn't lose. We just gave it our all and we were in flow, and so the game said it was over. But that's what I had the thought that like, oh man, this is when it's timeless. Like I'm not feeling time at all right now. And the game was so fun, win or loss, that when the game ended, it's just like, man, that's what it's all about. Like that's what it's all about. So yeah, we lost and ended the season on. I mean, the game was back and forth. It was fun. That was so fun. It was like a fight that just goes.
It sounds like
back and forth and back, and finally,
the way
like
it's supposed to be.
Finally, it's like 1 second left on the clock. The judges don't know who's gonna win. And then it's a knockout. It's like, oh shit! Like that's how it goes. So.
But it was still a great performance. Like
it's a
it was
performance
all the way
after all.
It was all the way to final, right?
Yeah. First time that Regensburg been in the finals in like 10 years. So
yeah. Damn.
It was really, really fun. But I mean, that game led to the thought of like the relevance of time. And, like, you know, well, I gotta get off, and I'm like, that's what it's all about. And the only time that I feel time is really the only time I feel time is when I'm off the field, or when I'm not doing something that I really. Talking to people like this, time isn't relevant. But I don't know, computers, that stuff, that 2D world, that my brain and makeup does not function with that. So yeah, that's how the season came to a close. Now I'll go home on today's Tuesday, so a week from tomorrow I'll go home. Be home for about
home America,
Seattle,
home.
Yeah, for about 3 weeks, and then go play the team I was with in Australia last year. I told you we're going to play in Korea, so I'm going to be in Korea for a month, and then back home again, Seattle, for a few weeks, and then go play in Australia for like 2.5 months. Yeah.
And
Good.
then?
Then I don't know.
Okay.
Then that's when the
That's the
the story just like goes black. You like
Yeah.
that's when I don't know anymore. That's when I'll get a sign for what to do
Unforeseen
next.
timetables.
Yeah, exactly.
Exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is exciting. I'm looking forward to it. But that's why.
This is also one of those years by numerology and by the Chinese year. It's a 9. 2025. 2 + 2 + 5 is
Is
9.
9, yeah.
Also the year of the snake, which is
Same
symbolic of something similar, shedding off the old skin. And,
Really?
And this full moon is also emphasizing
That game happened on the full moon.
energy like
We
that.
got home that night and I saw the full moon. I was like, no wonder the game was crazy as fuck. There's a big ass full moon and an eclipse. Like, there was chaos. Yeah.
And it probably amplified all of the energies and what you had going on inside as well. Like what's especially if you had a topic or a theme of time. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Because the full moon is your is also connected to your subconscious, to the female intuitive side of us, and it's a reflection of the conscious side, the moon.
Say more.
Conscious. And yeah, that's why a lot of people go crazy at the full moon.
That's why a lot of people have trouble sleeping on full moons.
That's why the cycle of women of the period usually was connected or for a certain time period to the moon. It's 28 days the moon.
Yeah, you get a full moon once a month pretty much.
And it cleanses them. That's why there's also this cleansing happening. And this full moon it can serve as a release and this tension. And this time was like this blood full moon, and supposedly it opens somewhere I read it opened like this portal, and it gives you this foresight for how 2026 is gonna be. And yeah, I feel like you could see a lot of tensions and topics that have been going on in the past weeks resurfacing and finding more clarity, which happens usually in the days after the full moon, once the energy settles.
Yeah.
Kind of, it takes
is it after a full moon? Is it typically?
It's like a wave, and
So it's not so much of just like a cliff and a drop off.
No.
That's why the moon goes back through
that's
phases.
That's why
and
people can feel it before too, and the
That's
tension kind of rises. It's just like
yeah.
Peaking
Yeah.
on the full moon, but
Yeah.
it's not a drastic drop.
Yeah, I like looking up the full moons and what they meant, like significance as far as like historical significance, and this one was known as like a harvest full moon. So it's about this time of the year when people would know that, okay, the crops are about to come into harvest. Like this is harvest season for us. I think that's so cool. Just like time, they're only basing off the moon, and we got a clock that runs like this all day, and they're like, oh, the moon. Okay, so it's about this. That's about what should be happening on Earth right now.
So unnatural.
Yeah, it's. So,
I mean the other rhythms we put on ourselves.
100% exactly right.
So the natural sunlight rhythm. That's why you also practice probably seeing sunlight pretty early in your day.
100%.
You already those
yeah.
are the basics. You already implemented that because we noticed that the circadian rhythm. There's something that timing is important. That time is an illusion. Rhythm is real.
Time is an illusion. Rhythm is real. I like that.
There are going to be phases of rhythm and vibration and polarity. There's going to be phases of, like right now, harvest season. So everything's ripening. There's the season of things coming to a certain fruition
yeah,
and ripening.
all these seeds that were planted long ago are now.
And it's time to
sprouting
ripe
out.
and enjoy the fruits of your labor. And then you got enough for the winter. If you live in the northern hemispheres, it's all this rhythm of, then you harvest, then you would eat a lot of fruits, a lot of stuff that you would eat, then you get a little fat, then you had some fat reserves, maybe with some vitamins in it because you get good foods, not like we right now. Then you had some storage for the winter in your body as well. You're probably home underground, and it connects you. If you were going with nature, with your nature, because everywhere there's this different nature going on, and you can always connect with it. Just go outside, start talking to the trees and hugging it or some stuff, and see what happens. Maybe you start feeling a connection.
Yeah, it always talks back.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it's not talking back, that is talking back. A little
I
silence.
can't even, like, to me it's already magical if I just going through the woods and you can just look up and some trees are shaking more than others, and although they're next to each other and they look the same and height wide,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah, there's
it's
movement.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's just their own
these
vibe.
tables, chairs, they're just stagnant. They don't move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the connection point, connection in terms of like, if we relate it back to the idea of what I was talking about earlier with social media, is that you have this connection to a thread that is like essentially infinite. It's me and you right now, we're connected by a thread that's like, I can see you, you can, you know what I mean? You could touch each other on the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Social media, it seems like for me, I can only speak from my own feeling, is I'm connected to like, it's almost like you're grasping at nothing, but you continually grasp. Like, there's no connection point there. I can touch this wall, I can touch the trees, but I don't like living or having my mind subject to a world that is not able to be what's right in front of me. And when you think of The Matrix, right? I watched the movie The Matrix again the other night, which is a fire movie. But you think about the idea of like followers, likes, whatever, all that is just, it's just matrix numbers. Like I see some things sometimes on Spotify and it'll say, 1 million listeners. And in my head it's like, who's to say they didn't just make that up? Who's to say that someone just didn't type that number in? And it makes me think that 1 million people listened. What if no one, you know what I mean? Like, it's so wild when I look at it that way. Like, I know.
And do you like it more because you think a million people listen to it, or not?
It'll make me think, like maybe I'll give it a
do we like something more just because we see it already being approved by a lot of others?
Yeah, it's so wild to be in that world where exactly on that point, I don't want to use the word approval, but the only like positive affirmations that I want are in real time with people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to go on this app to see a heart sign and be like, oh, that makes me, someone approve, like that's a positive affirmation for me. Like,
no, I got social media when I was 16.
That's like I'm a fish and someone's just dropping a little food in whenever they think I need to eat. Like,
yeah.
You're like, oh, there's a little food.
That's why I didn't like the idea of doing social media, and that's why I'm struggling. Like, to me, it would only be fun doing it in a group or with some other people.
I know,
because
right?
then it's like, we're just band of people. We're just gonna fuck some shit up.
Yeah, absolutely.
This group.
It can be an abyss when you're out there by
then
yourself.
It's fun, but just for me, I feel stupid the next day. Today I might be like, yeah, I can tell you this and that about training or flow, my life experience, whatever. The next day I don't feel like it, or I don't know. I feel stupid doing it. Because I can't take myself serious, because I trained myself when I had Facebook. One of the first people who had Facebook came out, I don't know, when I was 15, 16, I was in high school. One of the first people ever, like a weird ass apps on there already. Like I think now that I think back, it kind of fucked me up too. For example, this one app was called Hot or Not. Now they can't do stuff like that anymore. So the whole high school, if you had your picture, if you wanted your picture or your profile picture to be rated or not, it was gonna be rated. You could only see it if you pressed the app.
Man, that's so
and
crazy.
of course, I used my little 6-pack image or something.
Yeah.
But I could totally see how that was fucked up. If you just put in that this was your high school, then you were automatically pulled in. And I lived in the States when that happened, but I noticed pretty fast that I didn't want to like succumb to being like a victim of myself within social media, of wanting likes, of looking hated, how many people like looked at that. I mean, I experienced that to some degree, but I never like went chasing after the people, responding to my stuff. That's why I didn't grow my account as much as I can, like because it was just fun. Because a lot of people ask me that, like, why don't you do social media or this? And I'm like, I'm too all over the place. I don't know. I'm not gonna do the same
Right?
thing in a way of
I feel the same
branding.
way.
Yes.
It's like some days I'm into yoga, some days I'm into weightlifting, some days I'm into breathwork, some days I'm into an interview, some days I'm into baseball, some days I'm into hiking. It's like, but it wants to put you in this. How can we categorize you and then send you out to the masses? It's like,
So they can chop off little servable bites for people to consume in an orderly fashion and know how to categorize it. So the right people get to consume urine.
Yeah. So I have two thoughts. It's like, okay, if the quality of what I'm doing, who I'm being in the world, is authentic and of a high enough vibration, then it'll ripple out naturally without that matrix form. And the other sign is that I know I'm someone who shouldn't make rash decisions. So I have this idea, I should just delete it. Okay, well, let me sit with this for like, a week, 3, see if a sign comes to me, and then I can make a decision. But if I just do it right now off the rip, that's not in my best interest for myself.
I'm the same.
Maybe that
with bigger decisions.
Yeah, maybe that goes to like something in the human design. But
yeah, I looked up mine and I remember that one line or whatever, and it suggested that I would be better off by. And I think you had some similar.
Same, when I read about it, it was like you need to take time to make big decisions. You may have like an inkling of what needs to be done, but like
just
give it time. Yeah. So
and a lot of times I found out for that to be in a funny way that you didn't think of it first. For example, if I had the initial thought of, I want to do this and not that. It's not about. So I'm really sure of what I'm gonna do. So even the next day I'm gonna do it, even though I gave myself time, and it's not gonna be something else. So it was not that I was gonna do something else, but the thing I was gonna do. By the time I'm gonna do it now, I have more thoughts about how I'm gonna approach it, what kind of intentions I'm actually setting.
If you give it that time.
So it changes the thing itself even, I noticed. So it's not always about making different or better decisions, but just improving your decision.
So give me an example of that.
For example, we're gonna do, if we're gonna train tomorrow or not.
Okay.
And you're like, you have an inkling. Of course you're gonna train, but wait, no. Let's say in 2 days. Let's say we're gonna train 2 days.
Okay,
tomorrow we're gonna make the decision tomorrow.
Tuesday,
if training or not, you have the inkling of you're gonna train. Of course you're gonna train in 2 days with me.
Thursday.
That's your inkling. Yeah.
We'll say Thursday. Today's Tuesday. Thursday.
That's your inkling, and you're gonna give it more thought until tomorrow, 24 hours. And by the time you're gonna make that decision, you're already gonna think, I've been doing this and I've been doing that. Maybe I'm gonna set a specific intention, not just wildly training. You're already giving it more thought. You're improving your decision. You're already thinking of, okay, how have I been training and recovering the last days? What makes sense training with that specific person, or what do I want to get out of this training with that person? I must set different intentions now because I gave it more room and space. So it's not always about like if it's yes or no, or the variety of different decisions I can make, but how can I improve that decision itself? I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Like, the initial inkling is like, well, of course I'm going to train on Thursday.
It's like, okay, yeah, good, you go. But how are you going to go about it? You want to go about it the way you've always been going about it, or you want to do something new? What's the story right now? Is it you gotta be focused and disciplined and working towards something, or are you already stuck in a rut and you maybe want to try something new, or something? It's personal.
Yeah, that's so paradoxical too, because that's kind of an instantaneous like decision making process. Like, okay, some days I wake up and I'm like, I feel like running today instead of lifting, but you also you make the decision to train on Thursday. It like goes back and forth in my head where like, you want to plan, but when the day comes, the whole plan might just go to like nothing.
That too.
Yeah, and you have to respect other people's time and like, hey, we can make a plan, but I think it's more respectful if you're like, hey, workout on Thursday, it's like, okay, I'll give you an answer Wednesday at 8 p.m. Like, that's when I'll know if I can train, what time I can train. Rather than like, of course, and then Wednesday at 8 p.m. I just cancel. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, as far as the decision-making process, I know it's something that, and it always sorts itself out. That's the part too, is like, it always just naturally just unfolds itself. Where when we're like, no, I got to make this decision right now, because if not, it's, you know.
We get so caught up in our heads so many times.
But it comes back to time. That's when it's like, oh, well, time's gonna run out. Like
that's why I found like the remedy for all of this was to have a good dose to laugh at yourself on a regular basis. This helps with all this journey, conscious or not, or whatever your path you're on. Like, take it with a grain of laugh.
Yeah.
Because we try, especially
laugh.
if you're the inclined with personalities such as us and some sort of driven, you gotta have that. Because you're gonna be too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
And
100%.
if you those people who are not hard enough on themselves, they usually don't get there. But those who they always improve and always want to get to that next level, and sometimes they don't realize they're already there maybe, and they're just pushing themselves too hard. And that's something I noticed for myself, and something that I want to give to people.
Yeah, I actually had a sign. I was working out before this, and one of the guys on our team is Japanese, and there's 2 kids in the academy here that are Japanese, so he helps them out, teaching them Japanese. Like, pretty cool. They don't speak Japanese right now, but their mom.
Nanda. Why?
Nanda?
Nanda means what? Why do they not speak Japanese?
I don't know. Well, their mom obviously is having Ricky teach them Japanese now, kind of integrating their like cultural backgrounds. But I'm down there, you know, working out or running or whatever is when you for me, it's when I let those thoughts just kind of like work themselves out. I don't really attach myself to them. It's just kind of like, boom, you know, the idea is kind of ruminate and whatever. And as I was doing it, the mom came up to me just like an hour ago, and she was like, oh, I want to thank you so much for like, I used the boys as like pressure the other day. I was like, hey, come here. And I told him I was going to try and hit a ball off a tee to like this little spot. And I was like, okay, if I do it, you owe me a soda. If I don't do it, I'll buy you guys sodas. Just as a little external pressure for myself to feel it, you know? And I'm doing it, and in my head, I don't think much of it, but they go home, and the mom was like, oh, did you play a game with them? Because that's all they could talk about at night was like, you brought him over and played this game, and like, thank you so much for like, I was like, oh, these are the interactions that really make you feel something. That's the 3D. That's the 3D. Yeah.
A lot of times, yeah, that reminds me of a story.
Like, that's all I want is this interaction. You know, people helping people in real time. You know.
And when people ask, hey, what's your life purpose, and what if or what's my life purpose, and what if I told you it was helping that old lady over the streets when you were thinking nothing about it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times those little things I feel like where you're unconditionally giving love in a way, shape or form. And you were unconditionally like trying to have some fun, maybe a teaching moment. I feel like to young kids, a lot of times those little things matter a lot. I see that with my daughter as well. I'm not thinking a lot about it, but sometimes I'm trying to do too much, and it's like she's already excited with that. For example, I'm trying to do this whole training, or how can I show her or have more fun with more motor skills, or how can I structure something like a game, and I'm stressing myself too much. Just pick one, and I noticed I could just pick one thing, and it's enough. It's one thing at a time. As a kid, you know, they don't need to be trained in 5 different elements or patterns of movements a day if they don't have the affinity for it. It's simple. So we just did a ninja roll, and that's it. And she was totally excited about it. I didn't know she was going to be this excited about this little ninja roll we're doing, and now she's doing ninja roll, and it's different than we're practicing a roll, rolling over forwards on the floor. Sounds boring. If we're training ninja rolls, sounds fun. Man.
Yeah.
Ninja fighting. Yeah.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah. What have you come to any belief of what you think your purpose is?
Mm. No, I feel like I have a notch, like a direction kind of, but that I can't know for sure. So yeah,
Okay.
I've
You wanna let's do a thought experiment on that.
yeah.
This is a thought experiment.
All right.
So the other day I was thinking about desire. What do I desire?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what's the root of the word desire? And it's
Désiré.
desire, yeah. And means, do you know this? Means away from. It's Latin, it means away from. And sedire means the stars. So away from the stars. So then I was like, okay, how is this used in Latin? Like, when would people use this word? What was the feeling? And it was for people who were like celestial navigators, right? So explorers that would use the stars to tell them, okay, that bright orange star, we go towards that to get to where we need to go, right? Well, when the stars went away, when there was clouds, whatever, that star maybe just didn't show up that night, they had a feeling of desire, desidere. And so I was like, okay, so the feeling of desire arises when you feel like you don't know which way to go, right? Desire isn't what you want, is always a direction, like you just said. So I was thinking about like desire is only prevalent when we don't have like a direction, right? I'm in this place, the
yeah, man.
the star's gone, so like which way do I go? So then I'm left with endless desires, right, left, forward, back.
You could also reform that into like if you don't know where you're going, you desire everything, you know, kind of way of like,
right. So
or if you're not connected to your higher self or your higher perspectives, then you're left with your base. I always call it base desires. When I think of desires, I always say like base usually, but please continue.
Well, and I have this interesting relationship with money.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think I definitely desire money. Like I have an inkling or a motivation for money.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy nice things. I like space. I want to provide for others through the form of money. Like
same, and I had a hard time admitting that.
Hey Leo, come to the States and hang out for a week, and you're like, dude, I can't. It's like, dude, I'll pay for it. Don't worry. That's what I see the purpose of money being for. Like
same.
Easing up freedom, not for my own. I don't need a mansion and jet. Like I don't care about those things.
Same.
It's more let's provide peace for other people with it. So, when you said you had a hard time admitting it to yourself, I thought the same thing, because what did I have? I had a desire for money, but as soon as once you admit that to yourself, and you have a direction to go. Okay, I want to acquire money in some way, doing what I love, right? I know I don't want to acquire money doing something I don't like. So how can I acquire money doing something that I really enjoy doing? Whether it's teaching a yoga class in the park, giving a baseball lesson, whatever. And then the better that you get at it, the more you can charge, because that's the exchange that goes on. But I find that when I was not admitting that to myself, when I was like, no, wanting money is like morally wrong, and
Yes,
I should just be happy and I should be peaceful, and it's like, well, then what are you left with? Endless desires, because you won't admit to yourself which way you're trying to go. I want to go to happiness over here. Well, maybe on the way to where, if you just pick a direction, okay, acquiring, this year I want to make $60,000. Well, maybe this year I want to make $60,000 doing what I love. Along the way, maybe you find like joy, bliss, like all these things come along because I'm following that star. I no longer have desire. Once I pick the thing, there are no desires because I see the star. I know which way to go.
Mm-hmm.
But when I won't admit to myself which way I'm trying to go, well, then I'm left with endless desires.
It's funny. It's also like this paradox.
And so
right?
then that's when social media comes into play, where it's like, if the unforeseen land I'm trying to get to is say this amount of money, right? Because this amount of money will allow me to, you know, buy this for my business, help other people, whatever. Like money is relevant. Like
Yeah.
you
It
need it to live.
it doesn't matter if you want to create this community of whatever wealth, health for other people, or help your family, or if you just want to drive a Ferrari, whatever. If that, I feel like the universe doesn't discern what you're gonna do with the money, but your connection to it actually matters.
Yeah, and it's just
Because
how authentically
and
you're.
some people know that intrinsically, or they have a different
Relationship
with money, and they're attracted more easily than others sometimes because of that.
uh-huh.
So I went into numerology, by the way.
Well, so that goes into attracting it more easily, right? How am I attracting it? To me, if
By
we relate,
being-
if we're relating it back to social media, because that's what's been prevalent in my mind, that feels like I'm actually repelling it and not attracting it. That feels like an inauthentic form of myself to try to attract it. Rather than if I'm just, as you said, if I'm just going out in the world being myself, these things will naturally come to me. And so that's why I sit and wait for a sign on which direction to go with social media. But that's as far as desire went.
Same.
That's where I went when I got back to the root of it, was like, oh, desire in itself is just a longing for a direction. Which way do I go?
This is so beautifully said. A longing for direction.
A longing
man.
for direction is desire.
It's so funny because what do people desire, and once they get it, they're left empty and they still want more.
Say that again. So what do you mean?
Well, a different. Some people say they're different desires. Well, let's just explore this. So, let's say that people desire this. Let's say they desire this car. Once they get it, a lot of times they feel they want a new car. It's not going to give them the same thing. It's going to leave them empty because they realize it's not really what they're looking for.
Well, you want the feeling. You want the feeling of the new car. Yeah. It's always that you want a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
But the desire can be
that's why-
safe. It was a safe shore back then. Back then the desire, if you didn't see the stars, it was just to get somewhere, right?
That's the interesting part with the word desire, right? Is that,
To get where you want to be.
well, you and me were going on a ship, right? And we're
Yeah.
going to go find this unforeseen land out about. And we know that we have to follow that star because it's going to give us the best. So when we set off on the direction towards this unknown land, there is no desire. We don't desire it. We just know that that's the direction that we're going. So I think you have to separate direction and desire, because we know that that's the direction that we're going, is towards that North Star. But then when the North Star fades and goes away, now we have desire because we don't know which direction to go. So in the example of a car, right? I want a car. A car, wouldn't that be the direction that I'm going? The direction that I'm taking my actions is towards acquiring this car.
But you're actually desiring the feeling.
But you're desiring, well, no, I think it's more so that when you get to the car,
Yeah, the feeling of having or being inside.
and then it becomes, once you get to the car, that was the direction. It's like the star that you were following fades. And so now you're left with more desires, because this like land that the direction that I was going was kind of a falsified direction. It was like an abyss almost,
But this is also, it feels like this metaphor, if you lose connection to your higher self or your higher sense of
Yeah.
yourself, then you're falling more and more into this.
So do you think that money can be a direction? The acquisition of money could be
I don't know.
Okay.
That's something
I
I will
respect that answer.
find out, maybe.
Yeah, because I've been playing around with the idea of like.
I'm an 8 numerology life path number.
Yeah.
So I always had the theme of money. So if I was wanting it or not wanting it, the brain doesn't differ between want and not. There's no in the brain. There's only affirmation. There's
Yeah.
only so I'm always careful of how to structure things.
That's like when people
I
say
don't-
don't strike
yeah,
out.
I
It's
don't
just
do that.
strikeout is
No,
just the
I,
word.
I
Yeah.
always change the wordings in my mind as well. Like I don't say don't do this or don't do that. No, I'm saying like it'll work out perfectly. It'll run out smooth. So,
I love
it is
that.
a little tweak to a lot of things
Uh-huh.
that'll change. Well, it could change people's lives if they realize that. So, um,
Money being a direction.
yeah, as an eighth, money was a theme. For when I was in my 20s, I was in this hippie phase of wanting money is evil, morally wrong.
yeah.
So I can really relate to that. But you only need to make as much so you can get by or something. Anything else is money. But I couldn't see that I had this big ass topic of money, and a lot of people who are involved with money, they don't care that much about it, and don't even put their mind in so many scenarios about it, and the energy of money. And in the end, I noticed it's just what you're gonna do with it. It's neutral. So what you can, if you're gonna help somebody or just help yourself with it more, it's just create a lot of it's energy that creates a lot of movement in this world, because a lot of people have a lot of different emotional energies and attachment to it, and it differs.
Yeah, and you say it's when you say that you had the idea that chasing money is morally wrong.
It changed when
I
when I
think
had
the
an
only,
offspring.
I think, well, yeah, right? Because we had a guy on the team that
You
was
gotta
like,
provide. You get into more like of a survivor mode of like.
yeah, exactly,
provide,
yeah. So then you have a direction. My direction is to get money to provide for this. So I'm going to do everything possible to go in that direction. And what you pick up along the way might, be joy, peace, happiness, bliss, all these other things. But two thoughts on that. The idea that chasing money is morally wrong, I see the only morally wrong thing you can really ever do is not listen. Like, obviously there's things you can do in the world that aren't like morally right, but not listen to what direction you actually want to go, right? I don't need money, this and that, but you're thinking about money the whole time. In the back of your head, you really are drawn towards it. That's the direction you're trying to go, and so by fighting it, you're creating friction and you're creating more desires, because you won't even go in the direction that you're trying to go, or that your essence is trying to take you.
This is so hard to realize for oneself, those self talks, that to get the bigger picture behind it of what's happening, because you're so in the conversation sometimes that it's hard to jump out. But yeah.
And so that's kind of the thought that I've come to with money, is it's a very, I think there's a big difference between chasing it, doing something you don't like doing. That's miserable. I think I just couldn't. If someone was like, hey, we're going to give you $1 million a year to work at this computer, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. So money doesn't mean that much. But as long as I get to do things that I love, give out baseball lessons, run some baseball camps, maybe do some private yoga lessons. I see myself being able to just leap in different directions, right? That is much more a natural attraction of money. I'm doing it, yes, for the money, but I also love doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not. Otherwise, I just do it for free.
Yeah.
So there's got to be some relevance to it. But it is a big.
Same. I've been coaching people for free like the first years. It's actually.
Well, sometimes you have to do it for free to give out information for you to get better at doing it.
It's for me. It's actually hard to ask for money. Like to get into that. It was really hard for me to get into that position of asking for money, and seeing the value of the things I was doing, because I was just doing them because I.
So is that because you didn't think you were worth charging money?
I think
Like
to some. I think to a big extent.
Skills weren't high enough to charge for money.
I don't know if it was skills necessarily. I think I had low self-worth in some sense, or or something that was like subconsciously implemented. I'm really.
So what do you feel most strongly about that? If you were to help someone with this, you could charge for whatever you wanted, because this is my thing. Like, for me, for instance, if someone asked for a baseball lesson for fielding baseballs, I feel confident charging them really whatever number I want to say, because you're gonna get the highest level of information really that like you could get.
Proven by experience.
Proven by experience and proven by my own. So I'll tell you that number and be like, yeah, you're gonna get it. Like it's. Whereas
it's this weird ass job I was always having in my mind, because I was trying so many lifestyles and approaches of how to deal with my life. Like, for example, a lifestyle coach. It sounds weird and cheesy, but I had this in the back of my mind ever since I saw it on Nip and Tuck on this one episode, like 10 years ago or something. I'm like, I can tell people how to live. Something I would totally love doing, but I don't feel like I'm in the. Who am I?
We're not really telling people how to live. You're more just allowing them to openly express.
You're giving them more options of how to think of themselves.
I recently just hired a coach.
That's what I believe. Because if my problem is also
Wait, say that again. Giving them more options. What is that?
Of how to live their lives.
How to explore themselves. Is that what you said?
You can say explore themselves. You could say see themselves.
Giving them more options. Okay, so keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, so giving people more options of live their lives or to see themselves, because you can
see themselves.
You can't miss you can't miss what you don't know, and a lot of times people are really they're looking for something else, and you can help them. A lot of times they just need someone so they how do you say it in English? So they're responsible for it.
What do you mean?
They just need someone to tell it. They need a person they can always reference to when they're going on a journey, and they're changing their lives. And they need someone to talk to. It's that person, that point of reference.
Like
I did this, I did that. It's sometimes they're getting feedback. Maybe sometimes they're not. Yeah.
Yeah,
sage energy.
Yeah, I found this coach I was talking to my friend who is in the major leagues, and I was actually talking to him about this Carl Jung book, who's a German psychologist, and he was talking about the idea of God and a belief in God. And I was like, man, dude, I've always been spiritual, but like this book is really changing my idea of what God is. And he was like, actually, I started working with this coach. He's really changed my idea of what God is. And like, I really am resonating with it. And he's elevating my state of being in the world. Interesting. Okay. Well, that seems like a synchronicity. So I get in touch with this coach, and you could call him a life coach. I would just call him a coach. Like he's just coaching me. Whatever I have that day, he's just being of service to me. And the logical brain wants to be like, why? What is his significance to me? But like you just said, it's just exploring different options of yourself, and that's what I find most is like, one, I respect that he is well read and like very good communicator. But yeah, it's just the first thing he asks me every time is like, what's present today? What's present with you right now? And then we just explore from there.
If you have this natural energy of being of service to others, and I naturally have that as, I feel like this really resonates with me that people actually take up that kind of offer in society, and that there's this need.
Yeah, and I think you think about how he's on Instagram and stuff too, whatever. But you think about how I got to him. No social media. It was me talking to my friend who recommended me to him.
Yeah.
Now he got to my friend. They got in contact through social media. One followed the other, and they got to talking. So that is how the thread started. But how I got to him was no social media. So it's like, if my quality of work is high enough in whatever I do, I don't see a need for social media. But back to the coach part, yeah, it's more just been an exploration of my own thoughts and helping me kind of like dive into how I'm being in the world. What are my superpowers that like God gave me to use on earth to be of service? That's kind of what it comes down to for me. And he's helped illuminate a lot of those things for me, which has helped just in where I'm trying to go.
By reference again. The connections, yeah.
What do you mean?
You got to refer to it by reference. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's been great. But there is. I mean, there's such a space for that. And you think about, um, yeah, just the idea of when you really respect someone and have that ability to like freely open, thoughts, and money being just the vessel of the exchange of like, hey, I respect your work. I respect what you've done to get to this point. Here's the money that you're asking for, and now we can now it's out of the way, and now we can, be of service to one another, really. Because we were talking about something in the Bible and regarding money, and I don't know the exact verse he was referencing, but he was talking about like the exchange of money is very needs to be a very upfront ordeal, right? How you said like you felt uncomfortable asking for people. Hey, I'm uncomfortable asking for this, but this is what I need to charge in order for us to keep working together. Boom, it's out. It's done. Someone can make the decision, yes or no. For me,
That's
I'd
why I
rather.
like wording so much, and because sometimes just the way of somebody else says it, it just opens up a new door of, wow, if I say it like that, that resonates with me.
Yeah, that's what
Because
it's
the
all
way I
about.
was thinking about it was like, yeah, it costs this much money. Yeah, it's gonna take this one. Hey, I'm really sorry. It makes me really feel uncomfortable. So you have this authenticity
Yeah, this is
also.
how it
That's
makes
why
me
it
feel, but
resonated.
I gotta eat
It's
too.
so beautiful.
Like,
That's way.
yeah,
That's well spoken.
and it's also if the person respects what you've done or like can tell through your essence, like, man, the energy this person's given me, like, I'd like some more of that in my life. Yeah, here's some money to be of service to me, um, and that's just the natural exchange. Um, So yeah, and I don't know if yeah, I guess coaching is what I am drawn towards. But again, like you're saying, it's coaching, and it could be I could meet you and be
I
like,
think
dude,
you're also in the business of helping people, and coaching is just one of the forms and shapes it takes form.
yeah, it's so
But you're not
formless.
limited by it, and you will have different shapes and forms of it in your life.
Yeah, that's I think that's why we have such a strong resonance is like, we're both very inclined towards different modalities, different things that draw interest. But like, I don't just find myself getting drawn to it and just say that I like this. It's like if I'm drawn to it, I'm gonna go read about it, research it, try it, so that I can be like, oh, this is how it makes me feel for me. I can't tell you to try karate. I've never done it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I have on the
Now you
tree.
do.
Yeah. So it's been an interesting experience working with. I just call him a coach, just a way of being coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. And coach doesn't mean that you tell them how to do it. It's just, like you said, exploring different options. It's like the best coaches I've ever worked with in sports. They never tell you how to do it. It's just try it. What would it feel like to do that? And you do it, and you're like, oh, that feels like it resonates in my body. Okay. Or no, it doesn't. Okay.
Yeah, because the greats they know they cannot teach you. You can teach yourself. They can show you the way and the options, but it's always you. And the ones that are more ego driven, they're like, yeah, I'm the one who showed you the skill or da da da. No, if you're good, you inspire.
Isn't it so crazy too that I think about now it comes to me that like when you think of the word coach, I think of someone saying something. Really, a coach is just the way they're being. You could ask me to coach you in how to hit baseballs, right? I could just sit there and watch you hit baseballs for an hour, and you might be like, you didn't even coach me. And for me, it's like, oh, that was the only coaching that needed to be done that day, right? Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of parents get caught up when I give lessons. I really try not. I'm just whatever's present with the child that day or with the
because
with
a
the
lot of
player
times
that day.
The people they put themselves in this context
like,
because of the idea they have about you.
Well, why is this?
Because
why,
they're gonna
why is
practice
this?
because they have an idea of you as a coach, watching them or being present. So you're present, and whatever idea they have about you, especially if you have authentically inspired them by your form of being, then that's my idea. Then it would resonate really. Then it resonates really well, and they can improve on that because they actually just working with the idea that you helped give them about
Working
that.
with, yeah,
And
yeah. Yeah, because some parents, I get the feeling, I can feel their energy as they're almost like, why is he not saying anything? Or why are we not, it's like,
I can just, by the way you say it, he's fine, he's doing what he's supposed to be, it's a normal thing.
that, like,
You're just
I just,
stressing out being parents.
well, even like the stick drill that we did, right? Where we circle around the stick and you let it fall and you catch it in different positions. That's relevant for, well, anything that you're doing. But like when I think about going back and teaching kids infield lessons, like I'm going to go talk to a college and work with a college when I go back home. One of my buddies is the head coach. So good, it's free service. I'm just going to go, it's an exchange. They're going to help me get better at what I'm at coaching in any realm, and I'm going to help them with whatever they have. But that stick drill is like, anyone should learn how to do that. But like, yeah, he's fine. I'm just trying to get him, all I'm trying to get him to do is move without thinking. Is just move freely. And so the more I tell him things, the more it's just gonna clog him up, And so when I work with kids, yeah, the parents that get it are the ones that just drop their kids off and then don't stay, and then they just go somewhere, and then let this interaction between me and the player just be what it is, right? As soon as someone else enters the space, the whole interaction changes now. There's a different energy.
That's why I placed my daughter with somebody else to train martial arts with.
And then, yeah, hey, you just do your thing. If you want to tell me about
different
something.
dynamics, and it's good for her to have the approach and the energy of somebody else and the context, rather than my dad trying to teach me martial arts. It's like I want it to be playful for at least now, until she becomes more of a teenage age where they need more discipline.
Yeah, and she also sees you do some stuff, and she's like, oh, my dad knows what he's doing. Okay, I'll listen now. Rather than, I feel like if you teach them off the rip, they don't. Sometimes if I really feel like a kid is doubting what I'm saying, hey, try this, and then in their head I can see, you can see a kid's like, what is he talking about? I'll go take a ground ball.
Who's this guy talking? Hey, who are you?
I'll go do something in front of them, take a ground ball, whatever, and as soon as they see me do one, they're like, okay, I'll listen now. Sometimes you just have to like.
That's a lot of good reminders. I'll listen to this podcast like at least 2 to 3 times. It's gonna be helpful for
Hell,
me.
nice. Fuck that. Yeah, sometimes you gotta show them. You're like, okay, you don't want to listen. I tried to. Okay, now I'm gonna show you what it really looks like.
Yeah.
And then usually I can see the kid like, oh.
It's so logical and obvious, but you often don't.
The same thing if the parent is like, what did we really do that session, and they think I'm just coming up with things. Like, all right, hit me a ground ball. And they hit me one, the parent will never ask me a thing ever again. They trust exactly what I'm telling them, because it's like a painter that you just watch paint and you're like, oh, that's amazing. That's, that's the skill that I've acquired for 20 years, 25 years, and I'm still going on it, It's an art form. It's always changing. I'm able to fielding the ball, even the stick movements. As we're doing it, my brain is just so easily connecting, like, oh, I could do that. Oh, that helps this. This works like that. And it's just so effortless. It's an effortless connection between those two things.
Because you've been doing it so much.
And it's just, that's where time isn't relevant, So obviously my brain's just going to be like, oh, take this skill and take it to where you're, have the most free-flowing bliss. Like, oh, okay, that helps. So I'm excited to go back to the States and work with some kids for like 3-4 weeks and just, I don't know, it's just fun to do it. And that's where money comes in too. I'm going to do it as much as I can for the money, but while I'm doing it, it's for the passion of doing it.
But you're doing something that you love.
Exactly. So it's that
nice way of
it is always that balance of I think anyone can do anything they want, make as much money as they want doing something they love. It's just how hard are you willing to push to like go in that direction,
I think you only have the chance within something you kind of love of making that money.
100%.
Because otherwise I've seen so many people try to just make money with something they kind of like or they have some sort of interest in. No, you gotta have at least big fucking interest in it. At
And
least, and
that's
just to carry you through all the dumb shit. Because everything you start, there's gonna be so many obstacles. It's why I noticed. I'm like, I know life's never gonna be without struggle. Like if I'm not gonna meditate under a tree, as long as I'm gonna move, there's gonna be an action. There's gonna be friction.
Mm-hmm.
So but there's there must be some sort of hack. So right now
Some sort of hack.
So I'm trying to be like, hey, why is a child struggling while it's not? How the fuck do they do that? How can they it's play. They look at it as play.
Always as play.
It's the fuck.
Yeah.
And once I managed that to look at my paperwork that I have to do as play, I feel like then I've mastered life.
Yeah, well, and then it's always
once I can turn the bills, innerly alchemy them into something that is play, is like, oh, it's just an obstacle.
Yeah,
and it's not a complete mental breakdown every time. Because it's similar to me, like all systemized things, computers, paperwork. I had a harder time dealing with it, and they cause a lot of
But not everything
friction.
can be play, though, right? Like social media to me doesn't feel like play. Children, sometimes you give them a toy, they're like, I don't want to play with that. They just don't resonate. It's just not like resonating with them. So maybe for me, it's just that's not resonating with me.
That's true. If it's not
Yeah.
resonating.
You hand them a toy, you're like, no, you should like this toy, and they're like, give me a stick. And you're like, oh, okay. Like,
Yeah, but play can be different. Okay, let's play. Let's keep on playing in their mind. Okay, let's say you will never like that. You will never like doing paperwork, the bills, whatever. And you're like, but you're in a playful mode. So you could still be like, how can I play that somebody else does it for me?
what do you mean?
Well, you just get to that point of somebody else doing it for you.
You're saying like
so you're still in play.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just kept a
I
step away.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I want to just. I have the tendency to be really.
Well, that's the larger scope of play, is that life is this game that we're like, all, you know.
But when you're being ambitious and driven, you forget to do it sometimes in between. That's for us. I feel like it's always a good reminder to get into that play zone. But since I feel like also that's why sports is this foundation of a lot of our being, because you notice, okay, there's gonna be a bad day in general if I don't move. It's gonna get me in sync. It's gonna do all of this for me to be present, to be mindful, to be. For me, it's sports.
Yeah, you sign up for the game knowing that some days are gonna feel really good and some days are gonna feel not so good. But that's part of the play of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a Bible passage I was reading the other day that was, well, it started with, everyone who asks will receive, and the one who seeks will find, and to the one who knocks it will be opened. And the next verse talks about, wide is the gate that leads to destruction, that is easy. Wide is the gate. Narrow is the gate that leads to life and will not be easy. Now I might have got the last part of that passage wrong, but the idea is the same. Like, breaking it down, everyone can ask, and you'll receive. What do you receive? You'll receive what's necessary. Not what you want, but what's necessary. So then some people are going to take what they receive. They're like, nah, I don't want to play the game. I'm done. I'll ask again tomorrow. Some people are going to be like, to the ones, are going to be like, oh, that's what I need? Okay, well, now I'm going to go seek. I'm going to go take what I got, and I'm going to go seek, whatever it is. You'll inevitably find, right? You'll inevitably find. And then it goes from the one to the one, as if it's a letter to like the singular person who, when you seek and then you find, what you'll find is a door, a metaphorical door. And when you knock, when you make the decision like, okay, I'm going to knock, it's going to be open to you. And what's opened, because now you've done that funneling, that spiritual funneling of like everyone, the one, to the one. Like if I wrote a letter and I said the ones, or the one, you would think this could go to multiple people. To the one. You're like, oh, that's me. From that spiritual funneling, now gate, the path is narrow because not everyone chose to take what was given, like take what they received. And then not everyone who found chose to knock on the door. And so wide is the path that leads to destruction. Wide is the path that's easy to not like you said, to choose not to play the game. Like, wide is the path that's just like, it's all miserable, I'm going to live in misery, okay.
Yeah.
Narrow is the path that's like, I signed up for this, and some days are going to feel really good, some days are going to feel really bad, but God already told me that it's not going to be easy. Like, it's telling me on this paper,
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Don't pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a hard one.
yeah, and it says in that passage, like, narrow is the gate that leads to life. So he's telling me, like, to get this spirit of life in my body, not going to be easy, and it's going to take a lot of, like, funneling.
I feel like this metaphor, this is big because life, if you look at it, life itself, it's predetermined by a narrow set of factors that have to work in a specific way or alignment, harmonic alignment, say atoms, say molecules, whatever, atmosphere, distance to sun, Earth distance to sun, all of that has a moon distance to Earth. It all is perfectly for life to actually be happening, for life to flourish. Even if you think about it as an egg being fertilized, millions of sperms try. Wide is the door of its destruction. Narrow is the one that leads to life. Life itself, it's the highest. One of the highest form is to cultivate life in life. I feel like so.
Cultivate
so
life in others too. Like
that's why I feel like a lot of people who do gardening and stuff like there's some meditative aspect to it. And my roomie and I, it's like we don't have a lot of interests, the shared interests, but we get along with a like love for plants or something. Different aspect of it, but it's weird, but it creates some sort of harmony in the house.
Yeah, when you say cultivate life, that's why I asked you about what you believe your purpose to be, because when I've thought about it and I've written about who I am, you said the question of who I am, just blankly, who am I? The purpose that I've come to at the moment, maybe it can change, it can always change, is just that my purpose is to make others believe. And at first it was, believe in their best selves. It's just believe that you're the best version of you, believe that you could play in the major leagues, believe that you could. My purpose is just exactly cultivate life. Let's just lift the life force up. You know what I mean? And when you surround yourself with people like that, well, they're going to pick me up. They're going to cultivate life in me. And then it's just this harmonic flow of energy that's going around. It becomes much easier to the Bible's a wise book. The next passage goes to, he's sending out the 12 apostles. Jesus sent out the 12 apostles, and he says, I'm sending you as sheep out to the wolves. So be as wise as serpents and as innocent as doves. So we're cultivating all this life together with one another. I have to be wise as a serpent to know, is someone really pulling me away from where the direction I'm trying to go? I have to be wise in knowing that, but I have to be innocent in seeing the best in everyone upon meeting them.
That's
right?
such a Pisces energy. It's so hard.
Really? Yeah.
Such a Pisces energy. Yeah, Jesus apparently was Pisces, but they like to say or portray it somewhere.
Okay.
So it makes sense in some way. Or Cancer with Pisces, doesn't matter. But yeah, that resonates. It's funny that you kind of pondered on what your, let's say, spirit was, or your soul's mission or whatever. Because I was asking myself that when I was 22, 24 a lot, and my spirit, whatever, or I call it that way, was harmony. Like to me was this was my mission or whatever, my spirit in general, because it was seeking this always and trying to create it, like environments, like, hey, okay, this looks like shit, but how can we actually get along? Or how can we get that to a level where
creating harmony, cultivating harmony. Yeah.
So I feel like that was my spirit. Even though I just want my peace, I don't necessarily like my ideal position would be solitude, but just so I can be in harmony when I'm around people, but that's just my personal way of dealing, where I know I can give the most and the best of myself to people. Some other people need a certain certain other people or certain environments, a lover or something to have that. It depends on,
Yeah.
if you know thyself. I feel
Know
that's such
thyself.
an important
Yeah.
lesson, because nothing's perfect for everyone.
Nothing's ever
Everyone
perfect.
is
Yeah.
individual, and you got to figure out and know thyself and know what works for you, and you can still tweak it, like you said. For now, that was beautifully said. You said, for now I want to, help people foster or bring out their best, which was also, I always saw like their potential. It always made me like sad to see that's your potential. You're not going afterward. This friend who's like, yeah, I'm not gonna go after eating right anymore, or they have such great potentials. Let's say nutrition or whatever. They're not after it anymore. I feel like, okay, you don't have to go at it at this high level, but some people just give up in general. I feel like you got highs and lows, but you can still go slow. You don't have to judge yourself in a way that you don't have to do this big amount of stuff.
Yeah, that natural ripple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
But
just throw the
but
boulder in the lake and hope that it just makes a big splash.
that's why this resonates. I feel like this is such an honorful mission as well, like to create this, to help people uh, realize more of themselves.
More of themselves. Yeah. Yeah. That's and as you're saying that, I think that purpose and direction, I see them as being different. My purpose is to make others believe, inspire others to believe. Just my essence, my way of being inspires others to believe just through the quantum field around me. The direction, like as I'm walking, I think is different than the purpose. It's almost like the purpose is what you walk with. It's the quantum field around me. The direction is just where my eyes are set. Does that make sense? Those two
Totally,
things,
because
you see
the
those two
way,
things as being separate?
yeah, I can totally get the way you said it just now. It just resonated with me in a form that I seek harmony in
Uh-huh.
the end and go some, but right now the I, or what I have to do, is disruption. so
Uh-huh.
so the path is this disruption,
Yeah.
which leads to harmony and peace.
Yeah.
But
The purpose is
the
what
purpose is
the
harmony,
harmony.
but the path that I have to walk is there's gonna be clashes and
Oh yeah,
disruption,
that's well, that
and
leads to life, and it's not easy. Yeah, it will not be
and
easy.
yeah, also the message, doesn't matter if I'm gonna be talking about the way that a lot of things in the nutrition or fitness industry are going wrong in this or that way, disruptor energy, or if even in the music, where I'm gonna tell people, okay, the way that this government is working or the way people are acting towards each other is wrong. Have this disruptive energy in it. So, but what's the goal? Yeah, the goal is to wake people up to a higher form or of themselves, to realize that, and you have ideally more harmony. But you need this. This is the natural way, right? You have to go
Yeah.
through that struggle to get to that
If
new
the quantum
place.
field is like a hula hoop around you, I guess it could really just be endless. It's like an endless ripple that moves out. It doesn't really have a finite space around you. But that feels like the purpose that we walk with, that's always with us. When I go to bed, when I'm driving a car, when I'm with you right here, the purpose is always moving outwardly from me. The direction is just more the physical, actionable steps that I take in that way that I'm going. If acquiring financial well-being is the direction, that doesn't change my purpose. My purpose is just right here. That's just the direction that I'm headed towards. So it's easier. I found that from that line of thinking, it's easier to just be like, to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh no, I can't do that. That doesn't align with my direction, and that's not within my purpose. Like, that hanging out with that subset of people or doing this activity. Now that I have a direction and I know
This
my purpose,
doesn't serve my purpose.
it just doesn't.
It comes from there, I
it's
think.
so much easier to just be like, no, can't do it. And then they say why. No, it doesn't serve my purpose. Easy as that.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to the idea of time. I can only speak for myself, but what makes me feel like I'm wasting time is when I'm not. It doesn't serve my purpose. I get back home and you're like, I just wasted time. Like, there's no worse feeling than that. Doesn't serve my purpose, and it's not in line with my direction. Pretty easy to be like, nah, don't want to do that.
I get that feeling when I watch Netflix in the morning. I tried it last time when I was like just feeling a little down. I was like, okay, yeah, this doesn't feel nice. Let's go outside, man.
Yeah, that's for real.
Been there, done that. It's not gonna get me that good dopamine, serotonin, whatever I'm looking for.
This doesn't feel nice. Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel
That's
when I go on.
fake dopamine, man. That's not the natural stuff.
That's 2D. You're watching the 2D.
2D dopamine.
And I think movies are different though, because movies, it's 2D on a screen, but it makes you feel like 3D, like you're in it. You watch a movie and it sends you into a different...
duration and length, it tells you the story you're more engulfed in.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with social media. Somewhere recently, somebody portrayed it that way, and it resonated deeply as they were saying, it's a story that starts. So let's put it to an extreme. TikTok, they're gonna start something, catch you with something. Okay, it triggers you emotionally. You're okay, and you're still watching it. And then you're gonna swipe something else. Same thing happens. Different emotional story. So somebody said you're messing up your emotional system and everything as well too.
When you put it that way, it
because
makes
you're so
perfect
fast.
sense.
You're starting a story and then you're already breaking it off and starting a new story. If you would do that to a child, let's just start a book and read the first 3 sentences. And then just flip the page, and it's not even the same story. It's a whole different story, and you start reading it. Maybe you start reading it faster now. Maybe slower with a different tone, and then we're not gonna finish it next one.
That makes perfect sense. That's terrible. Yeah.
All those people in the young generation, they're zombified. I saw this picture of this artist years ago. I feel like a lot of people on social media have seen it as well. It's like people being displayed as rats, and they're like crushed into these tunnel systems, or they're... No, there was also this picture of them being people just zombified, and they're watching on screens, and it just looks the same way. You have a screen. If you just Photoshop the screens,
they're just staring at their palms.
It just looks like people being depressed and looking at their palms. If you just put the hand down, it's just
crazy.
like a zombie. It's pretty similar.
Dude, it's crazy.
And it's brain dead. And they're just what are they consuming?
That's definitely not a.
They're consuming emotional input from other people because they don't have any emotional life themselves anymore.
Yeah, it's sucking it out of you. It's the 2D. There's no depth to it. That's a synchronicity too, because someone mentioned that. Maybe I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they mentioned that exact same thing.
Zombified. If you let your kids watch between the ages of 14 and 18 too much, give them smartphones.
And that's why podcasts are different to me in my mind, and they feel so good to do and to listen to, is because I'm getting the story. Like, you're getting, our conversation for however long it goes for, but we started somewhere, and then we finished somewhere. But those quick social media posts, they just, like you said, they just start. And then, what just happened? Like, I just felt anger. Now I felt happy. Now I felt sad. Now I felt love. And you're like, what just, in a matter of 35 seconds, I felt that way. Crazy.
This is hard for the brain to process, and messes us up in a weird way.
Especially my brain likes to, this is called a thought experiment. It likes to ponder thoughts. But when they're my own, or when it's in the 3D, you and me talking, you're like, hey, think about, try this on for thought. I can stay emotionally detached from the thought. Like, I just let it, okay, that's interesting, but I keep moving on because whatever. It's hard for me, and maybe anyone, I don't know, to decipher that on social media, where it's like, hey, try this on for thought. It makes, the feeling is like attached to it right away. And there's no, it's like you're quicksand real fast, and it's not an enjoyable feeling. So that's why podcasts resonate and movies resonate, because all right, let's go on this 2-3 hour listening emotional experience together, and you'll make me laugh, you'll make me think about some things, you'll make me smile, you'll make me upset for a second, you know what I mean? And then at the end you're like, I respect what just that outlay of emotions that just happened. You know, that's the beauty of a movie. That's what I love about a good movie. You feel like you're in that world for like 2 hours and you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
what happens next? Yeah.
I was just thinking about
It changes the way that you go be
the
in
original
the world.
movie makers. That's why they're kind of why they have been successful and why they also have been less successful movies. Some people might say it's like Quentin Tarantino. You know, it's movies made by people who have a personality and are trying to create the next blockbuster.
I love Tarantino movies.
But it's still funny because he uses some of the stuff that's unorthodox in movies, which we just talked about it. I feel like, for example, when you watch Pulp Fiction, the story in between it starts off with random segments that you
None of it makes sense.
That you don't know how to place until the end. For example, it randomly starts off with this army, like this one scene starts off with these army people in the kitchen, and then they're telling this young kid of how his dad transported this clock in his ass for 3 or 4 days in the war or something, and it's this special because he did this and that with it, and you don't know what's happening. This kid is being traumatized, or who's the bad guy, who's relevant of this.
But imagine if you swipe and the story's over.
No.
Yeah. No, you're in it. I'm in this for 3 hours. It's going to take me. That's exactly what you just described, right? Like
you get to piece it all together, and you see how everything is connected. And it's still with something like that, and you don't have that with the new generation of social media or this fast moving social media. But we'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll have only television for educational purposes.
Yeah, that's
but
why I
feel
enjoy
like
YouTube.
It'll reach a point where it's gonna be like overly saturated first, you know. Like
feels like
it's gonna be so much propaganda, and it's gonna be so much dumb shit on it that people are gonna naturally.
Well, it feels like it shifted as soon as the platforms became able to like mute people or not show people's content. Once they became integrated in how maybe that was from the start, but from the start it felt like everyone got a fair share at like you could post, and now it's like we're gonna put this onto the top of the feed, this on, and once they started playing the mind games, fuck, dude, it works. I mean, it'll make your mind play games. Like
they optimize the algorithm on purpose.
Yeah, I can't get the Matrix out of my head because I watched it a few weeks ago, and it's like you know, he tells you the scene with the pill. He's like, all I can promise you is the truth, right? And it's like. It feels like any decision that you're going to make, all it's going to promise you, ask and you'll receive, all it's going to promise you is the truth. And so when I think about like social media, do I need it? Do I not need it? It's like all deleting it is going to do is tell you the truth. And if all you want is the truth, then maybe that's the way to go. You know, otherwise you just stay in that... When he wakes up out of otherwise you stay in that that fetus that they basically have everyone in, you know, trapped in the movie. I think that movie's sick. The scene with the spoon. You remember that scene with the spoon?
When you realize that it's not actually the spoon bending, but yourself.
Yeah, I paused it and I was like, what?
It took me a couple of years to get it.
What do you take it as?
Well, now I see it as like if your consciousness is creating reality, then, and this is the collective reality, that's why numerology apparently works, because it's even, and astrology, like even if there was some mistake, or if the system of to count a year or something, it's portrayed upon us, it's what collectively is being accepted. Is the most common ground reality.
Example would be what? Like the year that we're in?
Yes, the date.
Okay.
The date of today.
That's collective.
Today is the The ninth, right, or the 10th? No, it's the ninth.
Sure.
And so it's collectively accepted all over the world that it's the ninth, right? So that's why they say also numerology works. Everybody is accepting of your date of birth. The numbers that we all live in.
Yeah, no one's gonna say those aren't real.
They're different. There's a different way of counting the year. It's just we only have the rhythms of the stars and whatever, and we just put it on that. There used to be a 13th month cycle with a 28-day
Every month was 28 days, right?
Yeah, like month, like moon. Month comes from moon. Every moon.
So bring it. Oh wow.
And it's funny that we have 12 months because we used to have 13, and now you think of matrix as the letter M. Letter M is the 13th letter in the alphabet. The 13, the number is special in occult sciences. It represents the whole of itself, the system itself. For example, if you look at zodiac signs or something like that, you have the sun, 12 zodiacs. You have Jesus and 12 disciples. You have a year and 12 months. So the 13 represents the unity above that is part of what it's trying to describe. If it makes sense.
No, say that last part again. The unity above.
The higher unity of what it's trying to describe itself. Something like that.
So how does that relate back to the spoon?
Well, that with we consciously creating this reality together,
and
dream our reality together.
Yeah.
And
the girl,
he's realizing that he is the spoon. He is creating the spoon or whatever experience he's having with the spoon. And so by bending his belief or reality of the spoon itself, he can bend the spoon. And he's not actually bending the spoon, but his perception of it.
So seeing this chair as for sitting versus seeing this chair as being for some other purpose that I see it could be for. Is that
would be the first place to start. But the truth would be there is no chair.
Because because that's a label. Yeah.
No, and more than that.
Okay.
It's a label, but also it's just matter. But even that, if we look closer, 99% of matter is than air, and then it's just vibration, and we're just receiving some sort of vibration that we're making out as color, and this is just ultra slow down vibration basically. If it's moved down slow enough, then we can touch it. Other than that, it's just energy. EMC squared. If you actually slow something down energy enough, it becomes matter, and if you speed up matter enough, so in that sense, I was like, and in that same sentence of the Matrix or that scene, they said he was talking about some similar way where in the end you realize that there is no spoon. Somebody said that there is no. What's the actual truth? That there is no spoon.
Well, and then they went to talk to the Oracle. That movie, I had to pause it so many times to look things up and because Neo.
Like I said, I came to that years after, but I knew it, but I couldn't say it.
Well, that's the beauty of a movie.
Yeah.
Is it took you on that journey. Social media, it just doesn't work like that, No,
it doesn't.
But Neo means new. He's born new. Morpheus is the god of dreams, right? He comes to you in your dreams. They went to talk to the Oracle. You know what the Oracle is in Greece, and do you know what the Oracle of Delphi? Do you know the history of it?
Not the history, but I know the Oracle that they actually go.
Zeus sent 2 eagles on opposite ends of the earth to fly around the earth to find the center of the universe. Tell me where the center of the universe is. It's the Delphi in Greece. That's why it was so highly regarded as this is where God speaks the most clearly, is because this is the center. Who did they go talk to in that movie? The Oracle. And that lady is the Oracle. And what does she tell him? She doesn't tell him what does Morpheus say later on in the movie? He says the Oracle always tells you what you need to hear. Ask and you will receive. And he thinks that the Oracle told him that he's not the one. He thinks that, but that's exactly what he needed to hear to be. It's oh dang, It's so. But the only reason is because why? He took that information, then he went and he sought. He went to seek.
The question was,
And then
would
he
it
found.
have happened if she didn't?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, he didn't. He wouldn't have asked.
We knew.
So you never been on ask,
Yeah,
and
you
you will
could-
receive, seek, and you will find in the door, and you will come to the door, and you.
Oh,
can,
you open up new layers for Matrix for me now. I'm gonna watch that you listen to that podcast again, and then I'm gonna watch Matrix. So
Yeah,
after
dude.
you listen to that podcast, might
Go
be a
watch
good
The
idea to
Matrix.
watch the Matrix.
Yeah, dude.
And
I mean, the whole thing.
The Lady in
What's
Red?
the girl? Well, what's the girl's name that he works with? It's with a T.
Trinity.
Trinity.
I mean, that's an obvious one.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Holy
but,
Trinity and
but
stuff like
all
that.
all of the names in it were just like, whoa! They thought of everything. I mean, he breaks out of the womb and like.
To me, it was always like this. Okay, Neo sounds like Leo. Damn, that's pretty close, man.
Oh, really? Well, you said
like,
M is the
I
13th.
have a mission.
Hell yeah! Hey, that's what it's supposed to make you feel something to go invite action.
Because everybody is that
Yeah.
avatar. I mean, that's those secret teachings.
Everyone can hear the words. It's those that take the action to go do something about it. To build their house on a rock, or do you build your house on sand? You know, storm's coming regardless.
Yeah.
Storm's gonna hit us all. Where's your foundation?
There's so
What are you
many
laying
hidden
your
messages
foundation on?
with the machines and everything, and even the most recent, the new Matrix one.
I haven't seen it. Did you like it? Is that one good?
It's
Is there two
people.
or
I think
three?
people don't like it for certain. They have certain expectations. That's why those certain expectations of characters and what they want to see or something like that. I'm just taking it as it is. When I like
why my mom said my
I like
Instagram post
superhero
wasn't on
movies. Huh?
I said that's why my mom said my Instagram post wasn't on brand.
Yeah.
She had an idea of what the brand should be.
Yes.
Right? Exactly. That's why I was like, no.
I just like
All I told her was like, each post is separate. Don't take
Yeah, it is
the
for,
one
for
before
what it is.
as
It's good for exactly what it is. It's good for a second part. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and when you're wise as a serpent, and innocent as a dove, it's like, oh, you know, the person before that I just met, they made me feel this way, but I'm wise enough and innocent enough not to take that into the next encounter that I have. It's totally separate. You know, we're all connected, obviously. Like every interaction is connected, but I have to be innocent enough to be like, oh, I take that lesson, but I don't take the memory with me. I just take the lesson, and then I keep, like you're talking about the machines, when they go in the machines and they learn jujitsu and he learns all the things. Well, if the brain is a machine, and what I'm filling it with is the
See, that's one example of future ways of maybe we can, because they're mirror neurons.
Yeah.
You can probably make something like that. But
yeah, and
yet the modern, but the newer Matrix. Okay. So maybe you're gonna watch the new Matrix
I will, yeah.
And some hints about, like, I feel like our interaction in the future maybe with AI, or how it could develop, because there are actually some machines who work with the humans, you know, and so the whole, it gets diffused in the whole humans versus machines. It becomes like there are certain machines who don't like the way that those tyrannical kind of machines do things either. So there are different politics within the machines as well, like those benevolence towards humans. It's just nature of the beast, in my opinion. I don't see as bad or evil. So, you know, it's just understand the nature of the beast. You'll be fine, you know. Don't step on it or something. You'll be good. If I step on a Scorpio, I can't be like crying all about it. I'm like, oh my God, this evil Scorpio. It's just nature, man. You're stepping on it.
Yeah.
And the same goes for demonized monstrous things. I feel like a lot of times that we being told about or encountered. But yeah, getting back to that. There are a lot of hidden messages in the Matrix, and
such a good movie. I watched it in high school one time before. I'd never seen it. Like, the only memory I have is when the bullets go by it. Yeah, the first one. There's 4.
The 4th one just came out. The first 3 go together.
Yeah, but they changed out. Keanu Reeves isn't in it, right?
Yes, he is.
He's in all 4?
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay.
He came back. It's like...
He's in all 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's
worth watching then.
Yeah, I'll have to dive in, and like you said, without expectations of like what the first one was. Just take it for a new.
So I'm not gonna expand here.
Yeah, Morpheus. I like the name. The name's more. It's the whole thing was because when did he come to him? while Neo was in a dream. I was like, oh man.
I mean, I watched it when I was a
is-
child. I didn't even know what I was watching. I just loved the scenes of the bullets flying by.
That's
and that was
all I
back at that
remembered
time.
from it,
It was
yeah.
like the coolest thing ever of how they had remained with a straight face and be like.
I mean, we could sit here and do movements and just imagine the bullets are flying by us. You know what I mean? But there are no bullets. Like, there is no spoon. Crazy. Yeah, that movie was sick. But the only memory I had of it was the bullets. And I watched it in high school one time, and then the coach that I started working with, he told me to watch The Matrix. He was like, watch The Matrix and tell me what you get from it. And I sat down and I was like, oh, this is church. This is like right up, like this is crazy. Crazy. I can only promise you the truth. Life, like, narrow is the gate and won't be easy that leads to life. I can only promise you the truth. That's what's beautiful.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think that's a good stopping point, but always appreciate our interactions.
Same.
Yeah, cultivate life in me, so I appreciate that.
It goes same way.
Yeah.
So appreciate all of our encounters recently in general. Like, it was elevating.
I love it. Yeah, you find me in the States, or I don't know, catch me on WhatsApp. Yeah, you know where to find me.
Definitely.
Appreciate you, bro.
I'm hoping
Sweet.
we're gonna hang out before you leave, but if not.
Yeah, I mean, shit, yeah, sure. Damn, that was 2 hours.